Hello everyone, and a very warm welcome and good evening to the Japanese Grand Prix Round 3 here at the Formula Fun Sim Racing. It's myself, Zabi here, and just before we start, let's have a look at the championship standings. It's Zen who leads with 52 points, having won the last two races, along with 2 extra fastest lap points as well. Then it is Scrubbins with 33 and Fly Squad, both of them having achieved P2 and 3 in the last 2 races, are on equal points as both of them are on 33 points each, with the AI with 24. Then comes High B with 14 points to themselves, having finished P6 and 7 in the last 2 races. Then it is Fitty with 6 points to themselves, and then it is Spliff in the final position with 0 points to themselves. And we are out on track and ready to go racing here, the Japanese Grand Prix. It's going to be 4 and 5 lights out, and we go racing at the start. It's going to be Zen on pole with Scrubbins in P2, with High B falling back at the start already from P5 or P4 to P6 already, I believe, and into P7 now with the top drivers at the back. It is going to be Fly Scott and Scrubbins in P2 and 3. Scrubbins has lost out that place already. Scrubbins, remember, having started last 2 races from pole, has brought him down once more, but we'll see how good can he do. Zen at the top, already the gap over 3/10 at the back. Meanwhile, we're going to see, having a look at this, it's going to be High B there in P7, along with Spliff in P10, starts in the final position out on the grid with Fly Scott and Scrubbins in P2 and 3, and then Footy managing a P4 so far. That is a nice one as well, but look at that. The gap between Fly Scott and Scrubbins is not a lot. Fly Scott's going to go a little bit wide, but that was close for Scrubbins, but not close enough for him to get through in this race. Only on lap 1 as the action gets started, and the action is happening. Meanwhile, Spliff at the back trying to fight out the AI and really have a little bit fun in himself. We'll see how good is that going to be. Look at that High B, and that's going to go on the wall. Sorry, they're going to go on the grass, and that's going to be problems for them as they're going to fall back into P10. Remember, they had a very good starting position inside the top 5 and fallen back to the last place in this race. That is a disaster start from High B in this race so far, but we'll see if they could go on to the recovery. Meanwhile, Fly Scott goes a little bit wide, and Scrubbins going to be on his way to be making that move, and on super soon. The move up into second place as Scrubbins going to head to the inside line into turn 1, but not enough. That was close, but that was not close enough for them to make the move. Meanwhile, we're going to see soft tire rubber and red rubber at the start. The faster tire for the drivers in P2 and 3. Fly Scott and Scrubbins, I believe. Not quite sure what tire Zen is on. Might be the medium tire. We've seen him take the risk there, but yes, it could be. And there, look at that round the outside now. Scrubbins, again for a moment, could have thought for his move to be done, but not quite a lot this time around, as this is going to be going wide, as Scrubbins going to lose that rear and go wide one more time, and that is only going to increase his problem. But look at that, almost Fly Scott got closer there to get ahead of Zen there. He's not going to get ahead, but Footy is going to get ahead of Scrubbins. Scrubbins going to lose quite a lot of position, and in the end lose out to High B as well. And look at that, Scrubbins, and he's got a disaster here as well. Just on the exit there, got a little bit wide and lost it out from P3 to P10, and that's going to give the opportunity to Spliff, High B and others to move forward, with Fitty with a good chance of finishing inside the top 3. But how is this battle going to turn out? Meanwhile, before P1 and for the race lead, it's going to be Fly Scott and Zen at the top. Zen's going to be leading that race. The gap is just about half a second between the top 2, but there's not going to be any DRS. Only going to get enabled on lap 3, and this being one of the DRS zones at Japan. How good is that going to be? An opportunity for for Fly Scott, but can he do it though? This is going to be interesting, and we'll see. The gap being just within half a second, it is an opportunity, it is a thing, it is a time for Fly Scott to do something interesting, to do something that hasn't yet happened this season. A winner different from Zen, but only this race will tell us whether Fly Scott will be able to do that or not. Of course, both the drivers being out on different tires, the medium tire versus the soft tire. How good is that going to be though? I mean, with the soft tire, at least should have a lap with life of 5, 6 to 7 laps, but we'll see how good is that going to be an opportunity for Zen in the later stages of this race, being on the softer, fresher tire towards the end, or being on the soft tire at the start is going to be beneficiary though. But we will see the top two are again within half a second, and the DRS is going to be on, with the main straight being the DRS zone and the rear wing opening for Fly Scott. This is going to be an opportunity. This could well be just very big opportunity for him, because you know that one mistake, just like Scrubbins, he made a slight little mistake in one corner, it followed in another, damaging his confidence, and then he finds himself in P9 at the moment. But this time around the rear wing's going to be up, and a very good opportunity for Fly Scott to go, as he's going to send it on the inside line. But no, Zen is going to have that last laugh, as he's going to have that confidence, that believe in himself, and going to move around the outside. And look at this little battle. It seems like it is going to be High B and the other two AI drivers ahead of him. IB currently finds himself in P8. Remember, IB had a very good start, I believe. Best of the season from him, starting in P4, but has fallen back in P8, so a recovery has already begun for High B once more. Starting on that soft compound tire around the outside and on the inside line. They've made the move stick so far, but the AI might try and come back at them. Not quite this time around though, as High B moves forward into P7, and another opportunity could be there for them to move up ahead and back to the top 6 and 5, with the 2 or 3 AI drivers ahead of them. Fitty in their own race at the moment, 6.5 seconds from the top drivers, so they're kind of in their own race. As long as the other 3 drivers don't catch up to Fitty, it could be a good chance for Fitty to stay in that top 3. But can they do it though? But look at that, even with that DRS at that main straight, he's trying to go for that move. The confidence, the belief in his car and himself Zen had, that kept him up ahead and in first place. And he could not overtake. Fly Scott could not make the move stick. He'll get another opportunity. Can he do it this time around though? Again, the DRS is open. This time around, he even gets side by side way earlier than they did last lap. And this time around, he's going to make the move before they could even get to the first corner. And you have a new race leader, ladies and gentlemen, for the Japanese Grand Prix. And Fly Scott leads in Japan on lap 5 out of 13. But for how long is that going to be the case though? What about this one here? Is High B going to be going for that move right now? Not quite the case here at this point, and we will see how good, or when is that going to be time for High B to go for it now. We're already on lap 5, of course. In terms of a 13-lap race, it's almost halfway, just a lap. Oh, there's going to be a move, and there's going to be a really unexpected move there from High B, as we were just casually thinking about the race, talking about the other parts of the race. But there comes a move from High B, as he just sends the message to the drivers ahead that he's not going to be stopping. He's not going to be stuck there behind these cars, and going to be making that progress and making moves to see himself up back and back into the top 6, but no, there's going to be a mistake following up, and that is going to be a huge mistake, as their car ghosted. Otherwise, the other 2 drivers could have collided and could have spread debris on the track. But look at that, High B for a moment took that move, but that same exit, Scrubbins lost it, it's the same corner, High B lost it as well.
Oh, that was close. It was. I thought you were a goner.
Last time around, it was Fly Scott with the rear wing and with the help of that DRS, but this time it's going to be Zen, and that move is going to come up. Well, the position that Zen lost last time around, he's going to be getting that back already on lap 6 out of 13, and now the move has been made, and even that medium tire, the medium tire is going to be there and going to give you a little bit longer durability than the soft compound tire. So definitely, having done 6 laps on the softs now, there should be somewhat pit stops coming up, with a move being done by Zen, making a statement that medium tire has got the grip at this point of the time in this race, apart from the soft tire. Of course, driver versus driver as well. Meanwhile, we have our first stop in the pit lane, and that is going to be High B. Our first stop of this race on lap 6. Softs off and mediums on. A very good fast stop there for High B in that green smiley face car. Meanwhile, the top 2 are there. As we're talking about the medium and the soft compound tire, I mean, the usual difference is about 5 to 6 tenths, but that's, I believe, in qualifying. So we'll see how That's going to be the case in the race as well. Of course, in the race, soft is faster, but only for the first few laps, only for the first 5 to 6 laps. Because if you wear that tire out, you're not going to have that. You're not going to have enough grip to fight out later on in this race, for as compared to the medium tire, which is still gonna, like, that wears out too, but it just wears out a little bit later than the soft compound tire. But we'll see. It's going to be straight up, and Zen is going to go straight up to do one more lap on those medium tires, of course, making the most use of that tire. And FlyScott is going to be heading into the pits to try and fit on the medium compound tire for the second part of this race. Soft stint done, and the medium stint on for FlyScott as well. Into the pits, and who is that we might need to have a look at, and that might be Footy. Everybody into the pits as well. 11 seconds gap to the top 2 for Footy, but a good stop for them as well. And they go on to the hard compound tire. That is an interesting choice as well. Nobody from the 2 stops we had earlier chose the hard compound tire, but it was Footy to go for that unusual chance. But of course, a chance, I mean, opportunity, you know, it opens up. A medium tire doesn't always mean we'll have the best or last to the end of the race. With about 7 laps to go, including this one. So, a good opportunity. I mean, try something different, you know. A P3, you know, he's got nothing to lose unless the 3 drivers behind do mega laps with Spliff, Scrubbins, and Hype. But I think Footy looks set so far. Still a long way to go. I mean, still anything could happen. Mistakes could come in. And this is Formula 1. And that could be rapid. And first mistake almost comes in from Footy there. And again, this same corner. Almost losing out that rear, locking up the rear end, rear tires into that braking zone. And that could have been pretty nasty. FlyScott over 22 seconds behind Zen at this point, but definitely Zen is a pit stop behind. Remember that, depending how many seconds it takes at a Formula 1 pit stop. It normally takes from 20 to 25 seconds for a Formula 1 normal pit stop, about 20 seconds in the pit, but overall in the pit lane it's over 20 seconds. Depending on the track, it could be more or less. That's the timeline. That's how much time it takes for a pit stop. Zen, of course, still on those medium tires, have not yet pitted. Oh, sorry. Yes, they have not pitted. But that was FlyScott making a little bit of mistake. I mean, that specific corner here around Japan seems to be making these drivers struggle quite a bit. For this, but we will see. Are they going to pit just now? And yes, they will, as Zen is now going to head into the pits. The gap is just about 24.4 seconds. We'll see when or where will FlyScott come out. Is it going to be close or not? We will see, though. Zen will need his team to be there for him and provide a absolutely quick stop, and they make it, and they nail it, the stop, and that is going to be Zen already out of the pit box and out of the pit lane now. They're going to be out on the track and the pit limiter off, as it was FlyScott just making their way around the main straight, but that was not going to be over. That was not going to be close.
Ah, curses. The overcut. Yeah, the overcut seemed to be the right call. Yeah.
This is going to be interesting, though, with Zen having cold tires, and it is going to be FlyScott with better tires with more temperature in them, and having tires warmed up is grip, and it sticks to the track just like glue. But we will see. The gap as it stands is 1 second. As soon as those soft tires warm up, which they don't take more than 1 lap to warm up, really, and be in the optimal temperature for the driver to be pushing up. So this is already going to be, I mean, just even I believe getting before the end of this lap, Zen could be on his way to push these tires to the top, in my opinion. Looking at other drivers in this race, I mean, at this point it's the EI drivers from P4 to P7, then it is Hype in P8, Scrubbins in P9, and Spliff in P10. There is as we just switched to Hype, who's going to move forward and still stay in P8. I believe that's a lapped car, either they're lapping them or unlapping themselves as it stands. Hype currently 10 seconds behind the car ahead. Scrubbins 20 seconds behind Hype, and Spliff over a minute down so far in this race. So it's moreover, you know, if you finish, you're going to get points, but It's just as long as you finish, you're getting some points to yourself. But as it stands, the focus would be at the top. Unless these drivers do something extraordinary, do something that we are not expecting yet. Well, let's say that, you could say Flyscott in P2, the good job for him, but that is actually nice one in the championship as well, because not only he's going to be finishing in P2, but look at Scrubbins, he's currently P9, so both of them, remember, coming into this race equal on points, equal on 33 points each for Scrubbins and Flyscott, so this is going to be a huge bump in the championship points as well for Flyscott against Scrubbins. That is going to be a very good opportunity for him, and Fitty, 23 seconds gap to the car ahead now, but that is a good chance for him to as well. I mean, this time around now, nobody could stop him at this point with only 2 laps to go after this one. Finishing in P3 will help him as well, definitely get him 15 points, which is going to be cool, and almost get him ahead of Hype out there in the championship, of course, who had 14 points before this race. So Fitty's got a good chance. I mean, this race, it's more of a just be where you are, make very minimum mistakes, and sometimes that is enough as well. And well done to the whole top 3 and the bottom as well. Meanwhile, I believe, yep, Spliff has retired, as we are just noticing that, as they have retired or maybe hit the wall and DNF'd out of this race. Unfortunately, we don't have that data, but I'm sure something must have happened.
I don't even know. I was going too fast and I lost it, spun out into the wall.
As the gap is 2 seconds to P2, with Flyscott in second place, and then Fitty in P3, as you're just talking about keeping themselves calm and collected. A slight little mistake, but that is not going to do anything with the gap being over 21 seconds to the car behind. That is going to be a very smooth sailing for Footy at that point. IB still in P8, I believe. Oh yes, as I was talking about, as then thinking that IB did take positions forward, but then made a mistake and fall back. And he's kept it to himself ever since. As it stands, the gap is now even over 3 seconds by Zen Zoku to Flyscott. Flyscott in P2. I mean, just keeping the consistency, being calm and collected and consistent in this race so far. As it stands, the final lap has begun. Lap 13 out of 13, and we could be seeing any minute the man. And look at that! There's going to be a mistake from Flyscott there, very end of the race. He's lucky the gap was over 23 seconds, otherwise that could have been very nasty. But that was a little mistake going on the grass, but just saved it, did Flyscott. And a very job well done as well for them to just save it and keep it P and P2 for themselves. Meanwhile, I was thinking that somebody's made the move, but no. As it stands, Scrubbins and Hype find themselves both in P9 and 8 at this point, with Spliff out of it. And look at that, as we're going to now see Zen Zoku making their way in that middle sector into 130R and the final sector out on track here at Suzuka. This is Zen. This is your championship leader with 52 points in this championship after 2 races and after 2 rounds. They have won 2 races in a row this season. They won Suzuka last year, and they're going to do it again, and it's going to be 3 wins in a row for Zen, and that is going to be another victory to the telly, and a hat-trick of wins for Zen Zoku. And then Flyscott is going to make it a hat-trick of podiums and another P2 finish for Flyscott, and a good job done for him as well. And it's going to be Footy after a few rough first 2 races. It is going to be a very good result and a very good reward for their hard work and practice done over the days. And that is going to be a first podium of the season for Footy.
Yeah, that is nice.
Few air drivers in between, and it's going to be Hyde currently in P8, just making their way around the final corner, just into 130R. Then the final chicane to the end of this race is going to be making their way and finish in P8 at this point in time. And another few points for themselves. I mean, good, something better than nothing. But these then, ladies and gentlemen, are your results to the end of this race. And once again, it was Zen taking that victory, making it 3 in a row, and Flyscott finishing in P2 with Footy getting his first birdie of the season in P3. Then came High B in P8, and Scrubbins in P9, and Spliff a DNF in P10. But that fastest lap this time around goes to Scrubbins, and Zen will not have it though. And that's it for the Japanese Grand Prix here from us at Formula Fun Sim Racing. And see you next time around for round 4 in Bahrain.